Hi, my name is Angela Fagg with Messengers of Truth. Um, Today is good day. It's Monday, and I did it again. I forgot to check the date. What's today's date? The 29th? Today's the 28th, and it's a little after 8 o'clock. I don't know what time it is. I forgot to bring my phone, but whatever. I do that every time. Okay. So I'm going to talk about a little bit about the pyramids, just some stuff that's been going on in here, and regenerated farming, because I'm also going to talk about, because there's a lot of bad weather going on right now at through the Midwest, and there's a lot of farmland through there. So that's why I'm going to talk about regenerated farming, because it's a lot different. And over the weekend, I watched a movie called Common Ground, and it's on Amazon, and you can go over there and watch it. It distracted me. That was his phone getting a text message. Anywho, um, and I wanted to start out first with something kind of funny, because I found it to be hilarious. All right. So, we had Jeff Bezos and all those women go up into space. So, this made me laugh. And I had my husband make up a little picture of it. So, I'm going to show it to you. Space whores with Jeff Bezos at the front there. I find it quite hilarious. And it's also a run, because I like that movie Spaceballs, and I found it quite funny. Space whores. I mean, did they go to space or didn't they? Nobody knows. Anyways, I don't really give a shit, but I just thought it was funny. And you should always start out with something funny, especially when sometimes you have to talk about things that are a little uncomfortable. So, um, these people with the weather modification and everything, they're pushing a lot of really bad storms through our country, and they have been for a long time now. And a long time ago, a few times, I don't know, quite a few videos, I've said, though there's going to be a famine coming, and I'm watching the weather and I'm watching other things, and I can just tell, because the way that they do their farming, with all the toxic fertilizers and other things, and they don't really put the good stuff like poo poo, which it's the truth, animal poop, cow turds, and chicken poop, and rabbit poop, and goat poop. That's all really good for the ground. Even the dog shit. Imagine that. It is, but they constantly tell you, puts too many nitrogen in the ground and it's getting into the water. No, assholes, it's you guys. Not only spraying stuff in the air, but you're also using fertilizers that are very, very high in oh, bitch, I lost the word. Okay. Nitrates, my bad. When all you really need is some good old poo-poo. It's the truth. My mom didn't use, hold on, my eye itches. So my mom didn't use your conventional fertilizer or anything like that. She actually made her own kind of stuff. But I grew up, we would take topsoil and we would mix it with cow manure, which you can buy in large bags at any Home Depot, Ace Hardware, Lowe's. It's called Black Cow. That you should really, if you're going to be growing plants and stuff, you should be putting that in there, because it's good. And that's what they talk a lot about, that, and how Roundup is bad for you on this movie called Common Ground. And I'll say again, it's on Amazon. You can go over there and look at it. I'm going to show you the trailer, which I believe is right there. Is that it, Jimmy? Okay. So here's the trailer to the movie Common Ground.
What I'm about to tell you is a matter of life and death. If the soil dies, we die.
The facts have been proven. Roundup does cause cancer.
If you burrow deeply enough, there is a pipeline of money from the pesticide industry into those universities. They're getting the kind of science that money can buy.
Nature is the mother of us all. And if mama ain't happy, we're f***.
But there's a way to save our precious soils. It's called regeneration.
Regeneration is not just restoring the land to the state that we found it at, but actually making it better.
We have added over 96 tons of carbon per acre into our soil. Can we mitigate climate change? Absolutely.
We're going to check the underwear and the regenerative versus the conventional soybean field and see if we can tell a difference between the microbial activity.
We've eliminated insecticides, pesticides, herbicides. We are saving upwards of $400 an acre. It works out to be about $2 million a year in savings. That is serious cash.
I forgot my suit. I feel like I'm underdressed. But if you are the people who can make a change, well, it's high time to finally get regenerative agriculture. Let's prioritize the farmer. Out here in the fields, I found my meals.
It's a connection to the land. It's a connection to those that came before us and those that are going to come after us.
Sally, take my hand. We can change everything. There's hope.
I said this letter is a warning, but it's also a promise.
So I'm gonna fight like hell to save your future, my children.
Because I love you.
Let's get together before we get much older.
So that's very interesting. I actually watched the movie, like I said before, over the weekend, and a part that they talk about in the movie is where they show side by side two separate farms. One farm is using all the fertilizer and the tilling of the ground and all that stuff, and wind comes or rain comes and it washes the topsoil out, what they need for the plants to grow. But on the other side, where they're doing regenerated farming, they've have bush barriers and things to that effect, and they push the weeds down and then just poke holes. They don't till the ground and ruin all the microbes, as you saw the guy with the underwears. And that's important. There is a way to make things better from what they've done, because they're not going to stop. They want America, and people need to come to grips with that. The blood that is pouring out on this land still to this day, because people want to be pussies. I said it. Because you want to protect people that shouldn't be in this country, rapists and murderers and people that just want to hurt other people. They didn't come here for a better life. And when you come here, if I have to pay when I break the law, if I have to do probation or be in jail for 72 days because of something that I did, and if you come into my country illegally, you're automatically breaking the law. And if I have to go to jail and I have to pay for my crimes, then I'll be damned if I'm going to agree with anybody else coming into my country and not abiding by the laws. We pay taxes. We do everything we're supposed to do. And I don't care if these illegals are paying taxes. The point where they put pressure on our school systems and our healthcare system and all this free fucking money that they get. Okay? This is unbelievable. Didn't even plan on talking about that, but it just came out. It's ridiculous. You want these, and it shouldn't matter. And they need to go. Okay? And it's even worse than what they're even saying. Like, I watched this morning the press release at the whitehouse.com. I should have brought that up. Not whitehouse.com, on the YouTube channel. And they do the press releases there. I'm probably on Rumble too, but that's just where I was. And they were talking about it, and it's just absolutely ridiculous what these news media stations are saying. I mean, even my local news, maybe I should put in the description at NBC, or wait, it's called Gulf Coast News now, because they just want to be fucking liars. And I'm being serious. I think, we watched all these riots of the Summer of Love, and we watched these burning buildings down, and these people getting up in these other people's faces and talking about shame, shame, shame. Well, you know what? There's no violence. You don't need to be violent. But every time you see one of those fucking newscasters, your local ones, and you're out somewhere or whatever, just yell, liar, liar, liar. Look at the liars lying to everybody. I told the guy at NBC News, I told him, the brown-haired dude, I talked to him when I went down and Trump came in, and then he went over to the pizza place. Well, I was out there. I made the news because I put the thing up on one of my videos. And I talked to him. And this is exactly what I told him, because he asked me if I was going to vote for Trump. And at that present moment, I wasn't. I was going to vote for DeSantis. That's how I was feeling about it. And he was like, well, why would you even be here? I'm like, these are all Republicans and people that think like-minded. Why wouldn't I be here? I don't have to praise Trump in order to be somewhere where there's like-minded people. And that's just the way it is. So, and I told him then, I said, do you understand that people would be able to make a better informed decisions if you people would stop lying all the time? Or I said, well, let me say it this way. Instead of calling you a liar, let me say it this way. Not telling all the truth. Okay? I said it to him. And I said, there's going to be a day coming soon, and I warned him, where people aren't going to like you guys out on the streets because they know for a fact that you're lying. And it's going to happen soon. Because this is ridiculous. These people are spreading nothing but lies. And you're like, Angela, why does it bother you so much? Why your local news? It bothers me because local news is what the poor people watch. Poor people don't have the internet to be on YouTube all the time unless it's on their phone. Their older people are watching antenna TV. So the local news is important for people to pay attention to and to start calling these assholes out. And, like on the For Real. Okay, I'm gonna do it. I've been singing it in my house. Ding dong, the Pope is dead, the wicked Pope, the Pope is dead. Yeah! He's finally getting his punishment. If you think for 1 minute that man is going somewhere that's going to be all cushy and loving or whatever, or like he might be believing like the Muslims do, like he's going to go somewhere and get a whole bunch of virgins, he ain't getting shit. Tell you that right now. He was an evil, evil man. And people in that Vatican, they're evil. They've changed your religion into paganism. And I don't know how you people don't even see it. That comes on to another video because I'm reading a couple other books. So to let you know, I have, and it's history, okay? It's not like, whatever. It's history books because I wanted to know something about the American history on spiritualism and how some of this shit started. And that was in 1776, right after they started to sign. The Declaration was first, right? The Declaration of Independence. You know, New York was one of the last ones. But see, that's a whole nother video. Just giving you a little teaser for that because I'm going to start doing better, even though for the last 3 weeks now, I have had extreme, to me, it's extreme. I've lost 10 pounds because I can't eat. Every time I eat something, I have gas and then I just shit it out. I'm just going to be honest. Like, it just needs to stop. It started with food and then it starts to get better and then I have food again. And it does it all over again. So, that's why I haven't been making any videos because I said I was going to start coming on in the morning times, but it's kind of hard to do a video in the morning times when you're in the bathroom most of the time, in and out of the bathroom because you don't know when it's going to come. See what I'm saying? All right. I think someone's, I think I'm getting food poisoned. Someone's poisoning my food, but that doesn't matter. So, since we talked about the Pope and he's dead, a new Pope's going to come and everybody should know it. Anybody that has any real sense, as in like knowledge or any kind of real sense, like could feel their spirit inside of them, their soul, they would know that the next guy is going to be way worse. Okay? And sometimes I just don't know how to say things because I try to be light on it, and then I'm like, you know, Angela, you're not a light person, so I'm just going to start going for the gold, all right? For the prophets of Baal, that's what you is. When you say shit like, we're going to have Nuremberg 2 again, did you not read all the history? Because I know God knows it. Okay? God knows it. God knows that they kept those scientists here. God knows that Joseph Mengele was sexually was raping children, boys and girls, the things that Fauci has done and all the rest of them. Nuremberg was a sham to show the people, as then they took all these scientists in, gave them different names and put them all through our country and NASA and all the hidden bases where they do all the experiments, Mount Shasta. We're just going to go down the fucking list for you again. And yeah, see, this is the real Angela. I even talk to myself this way. That's for the people that like to watch me in my house. Go fuck yourself. Mount Shasta, okay, Dolce. There's a place on the border of Arizona and New Mexico, which Mount Dolce is Colorado and New Mexico. And you guys heard about all the nasty shit that Epstein and Time Warner guy. There's some weird fucking people, them guys right there. And you know how I know about them? Because I worked at a bar in a town called Truth or Consequences, and his farmhands would come in once a month. You see, people look at me and automatically think I'm stupid, but I'm not. My words may come out wrong. I'm a little dyslexic, you know. Takes me a little longer to read stuff because I want to make sure I'm getting things right to make my own decision on it, because I don't like other people trying to take and force me into their decisions. So Dolce, and then all the nasty shit in New Mexico. And then you got the famous Roswell, which it didn't even happen in Roswell. It was in a town outside of Roswell, which I drove through when I went to Roswell to gamble when I lived in New Mexico. Okay. And then you got Lookout Mountain. You got the shit underneath Denver. You got fucking Disney. All right. Yeah. Disney World here. You got NASA. You got Who knows in all the stuff that goes on in Washington, D.C. And everybody just thinks that it's okay. And it's humans doing it. So as I try to tell you that it's these other people, one, fallen angel technology. That's true. And I'm trying to figure the words out. I have no mercy for you, you son of a bitches. When the hammer comes down, I hope it comes down hard. Because I have no mercy for you and the things that I've seen you do to children. Okay? Those are the pictures that I get. I get of the pictures of the children boiling in shit and piss. And people like, allegedly, because they say you got to say that word, right? Allegedly Kamala Harris there, okay? And all the white buses that go into the tunnel for the rich people to sit at their banquets as they eat children. And they like to watch them boil and piss and shit. And then there's another section where they do these horrible videos and whatnot. But, you know, hey, the Pope was a wonderful man. He didn't do any of that. Asshole. You guys, I don't even know why I went there, but it fucking felt good because it's good to say it. These people, they're lying about all kinds of things. You just seen my video that I took outside. It was in my back fucking yard, man. I'm 45 years old. I will be 46 this year. I have lived in Florida my whole life, except for a short amount of time. For 3 years, off and on, I moved back and forth across the country 4 times in a 3-year span. That's the only time I actually really lived out of Florida. I spent 1 month in upstate New York with a guy they say is my dad. When I was younger. I've lived in Florida my whole life. I grew up in East Orlando, which is approximately a 45-minute ride to Nassau. I grew up fishing over at the Hollover Canal. I grew up on Cocoa Beach, okay? I'm from Florida. I know what rocket ships look like when they go off. And now I know what it looks like when one's going through a portal or they're blue beaming us with some freaky shit in the sky to kind of get us scared. Well, I ain't scared. I'm not. And Florida's coming up with a law for us to be able to shoot them them drones out of the sky. That's for you right there. You know that. Because there's a drone that comes over my house. Okay? We tried to hit it with on New Year's Day. Not New Year's Day, New Year's Eve. I love fireworks. So, and it was up there around the house and watching us and everything. So I said, Jimmy, try to hit it with one of the mortars. Because, you know, this is Florida. We're allowed to have fireworks. You're allowed, not allowed to set them off all year round, but just on the holidays and stuff. And we tried to hit it. It flew away after that. It didn't want to get hit by fireworks. And when they pass this law and you're flying over my house and you're watching me, I feel threatened. It means the boomstick gets to shoot you down. Okay. So other things that I've missed in the last couple weeks was first I want to talk about this. This is a picture of the farm area, and if you like in another video I told you to watch Mark the Weather Guy. We need to pray for him and his family tonight because they're going to be in some real bad storms up there, and hope that they make it through there. I'll pray privately because that's the way I prefer to do it. So this next picture is the farmland, and when you go and watch any of the videos for the storms that have been going through our country, it's going right through the farmland. And It's not. It's not good. Like, it's wrecking the whole thing, and you need to watch that movie, Common Ground, so you can understand more and look at regenerative farming and everything else. Now, I'm just going to flash through and show you some pyramids to give you the idea of what we're talking about here. Oh, well, this one gets the space whores with it. I don't know what happened there. Oh, it's because these are all the different, they were talking about all the pyramids and the energy that's below the pyramids and everybody's hypothesis about it. And so I wanted to talk about it because I read a lot lately. I didn't my whole entire life. But over the last few years, I've read a lot, and I'm just going to say it. There's pyramids all over the world. There's pyramids underneath the ocean and everything else. And when we talk about our history, okay, and they put rocks over the fallen angels, right? Pyramid, whole bunch of rocks, right? And then this dude that says, oh, he was out for 16,000 years. Would you just get a little fucking tired after 16,000 years and then you just decided to sleep forever? No. You got locked in there. And one person was talking about how there's like a deep humming sound. Well, wouldn't that be God's voice locking a bitch in? I'm just saying, this is how I know how to explain it. So, shouldn't we start leaving stuff like that alone? I mean, I get it. You guys have to be grave robbers. You gotta, they call them archaeologists, but what they really are grave robbers. Because if they hadn't been lying, the Vatican, about all the history and everything for so long, there wouldn't be any of this digging or anything. They would already know that Noah's Ark is probably at Skinwalker Ranch, and they would already know a lot of different things. They would know, like, normal people would know these things, but they can't have that because they can't have you smart enough to understand that you carry enough power and energy with inside of you to break them. I don't know how else to explain it. And that's what we all have to get back to. Not this paganism that's running through all the churches and whatnot, because it's paganism, okay? And when you have your religious leaders and your prophets that are religious prophets and your other, people and stuff, if you really look into it and if you actually know enough about New Age and enough about witchery and enough about everything else and how all this shit works and these baby eaters and baby rapers and how they take the energy and all the different sadistic things that it adds up to, you would understand that your churches, temples, and mosques, okay, because, everybody wants to leave the Muslims out of everything. So let's just talk about one thing that I know to be, straight up some bullshit, all right? And if any woman out there doesn't say that this is bullshit, legally, all right, I feel like I should be allowed to punch him in the face. This is America. And you're going to understand after I tell you this. They cut the clitoris, with Sharia law, they cut the clitoris off of the little girls so they cannot feel any type of pleasure during sex whatsoever. And these stupid bitches want to stand with them? Go fuck yourself on that. And they chant death to America, death to Christians, death to Jews, death to anybody that is not them. That's what they do. And you're like, I'm sure you're saying to yourself, oh, well, Haji, up at the Haji Mart, that guy's always real nice to me. Yeah, he real nice because he wants your money. You think you're going to be rude to people that are buying product from you because you own a store? Think about it. Can't be stupid the rest of your life. So, those are the things for tonight. I can't see how long I've been on here because I didn't want to be on very long, but I knew that I needed to come on because I need to stay more upbeat with this. The pyramids need to be left alone, okay? That's what you got to take from this. Pyramids need to be left alone. They need to be. You're opening a can of worms that none of us want to fucking deal with. 2, we had a great movement in our world when that Pope died. Even though something real bad's going to happen after that. I forgot to mention King Charles is going to die because the download already took place into the other 2. It was successful. That's what her cancer was about. One day, instead of me absolutely sounding crazy as I'm saying these things, you're going to look and you're going to be like, that girl was actually telling the truth. Because I am telling you the truth. I know who these people are. I thought that I was going crazy because I didn't know anybody who talked like that. You see, I had a lot of the visions before I started looking into them. I get stuff at a regular basis when I'm watching TV, when I'm reading something, when someone's talking. And I'm not saying that I'm special or anything. I'm just saying we need to talk about certain things. Like one thing, if you cut your pleasure stick off and turn it inside out, you are not a woman. My period last week would have showed you that. Because a woman has babies and has their period and go through hormone changes, which are not supposed to go through bad hormone changes, but that's because of our food. We have cramps. We feel like our innards are going to be our outers. We can feel our hips coming apart. You don't have to deal with none of that. The pressure on our backs and the nausea. But it's not all the same each period. It could be different however it wants to go. But you just think you can cut off your little pleasure stick there, which is stupid to begin with, because how are you going to, orgasm anymore? I'm just saying, you're a fucking retard. You're not a woman. You're never going to be a woman. I don't give a shit how you feel inside. And another thing, we're just going to get this right out there. God is not man and woman. God is man. God is man. He's not man and woman. And I'm going to leave that right there. Because that's some real bullshit. Them pagans in them churches be teaching people. And then they want to tell you that all this, it all opened up during the Stonewall Jackson event in New York. No, actually, it was 1777, and I believe it was like June? Wonder what June is so important to them. When the first possession took place in New York, and she did her tour in New York City. That's the book I read. I'm only telling you that because when you see the video, and I'm going to try to bring up as much information on it as you can, it just makes me want to, like, these religious leaders just think that they can pick a time and not go all the way back. This is America. How about we stop treating it like it's fucking Egypt or Babylon? It's America. We were allowed to come here. We were allowed to come here. How many thousands of years was it that America was left alone before people came back here? Were those buildings really there for all that time and God kicked us all out? Is this really the promised land, or is it some place over called Israel? These are very good questions to be answered. But the assholes that know it don't want to give up that. And on that note, I don't see my ending down there. And on that note, you guys can all have a good night. I'm going to go lay down.